Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So let's continue with our discussion on standard costing. And we have been discussing about the labor variances. In the last lecture, we started with the labor variances, and in this lecture, we are going to complete the topic of labor variances, right? So we have been discussing about labor variances. So these labor variances, as I told you, these are similar to what we covered in the material variances, right? So before we start, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications, and most importantly, share with all your friends, juniors who are in the foundation or who have just started with the inter preparations. Share with everyone, right? All those who can take the benefit from these lectures. Okay. So now, we started with the labor variances, similar to what we have covered in the material variances. There I told you direct labor cost variance, direct labor rate variance, and direct labor efficiency variance, right? So this is what we discussed about. After that, two more variances, that is direct labor mix variance and the direct labor yield variance. These are being used when these are being calculated when two or more types of the labor are being used, right? Like skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. So we have calculated the yield variance and mix variance. After that, we discussed about the actual hours. That actual hours can be actual hours paid and actual hours worked. It will depend upon whether there is idle time or not. Clear? So according to that, our formulas will change. That at some place we will be taking the actual hours paid. In the cost variance and in the rate variance, we will take actual hours paid, and in the efficiency variance, we will take actual hours worked. Similarly, the mix variance is being a part of the efficiency variance, so we will take it actual hours worked. So idle time variance we discussed. Now, one important point here that you need to remember, that when we need to calculate the revised standard hours, revised standard hours, right? These will be calculated on the actual hours worked, right? These will be calculated on the basis of actual hours worked and not on the basis of actual hours paid for, because the revised standards we are calculating for efficiency part, and the efficiency we always check upon the basis of actual hours that have been worked for and not the actual hours paid for, right? So revised standard hours, when you have to calculate in case of yield variance and mix variance, these revised standard hours will be calculated on the basis of actual hours worked. Clear? So this is all what we discussed in the last lecture about the labor variances, and I hope these are clear, because in this lecture we are going to do the practical problems on the labor variances, and after that our labor variances will be complete. Okay, so let's do a practical problem. So Industries, question number 4 is there. So Industries turns out only one article, the prime cost standard for which have been established as follows. That is, for 1 unit, the standards are given to you. That material 5 units at 4.20, standard price is 21, labor 3 hours at 3 per hour, 9 rupees. The production schedule for the month of July 1998 required completion of 5,000 pieces, whereas the actual production was 5,120 pieces. Purchases of material or labor? Obviously material, sir. How can you purchase the labor? So whenever we are talking about purchases, that means we are talking about the purchase of raw material. Purchases for the month of July 1999 amounted to 30,000 of the material at the total invoice price of 1,35,000. Production records for the month of July showed the following actual results. Material requisitioned and used 25,700, direct labor 15,150 hours at a cost of 48,480. Calculate material and labor variances. Let's start with this. Let's start with the calculations now straight away. Question number 4. So first we'll talk about material variances, right? First we'll talk about material variances. After that, we'll calculate the labor variances. So we'll prepare the table, that is standard quantity for actual output. Then we have standard price, standard cost, actual quantity, actual price, and actual cost, right? Now, first you need to understand what is the actual output. Actual output is 5120 pieces, right? This is given as the actual output. So what will be the standard quantity for 5120? For 1 unit, it is 5 lbs, right? So for 5120 pieces, what will be the standard quantity? In this case, if we talk about the actual output, my actual output is how much? 5120. So how to calculate the standard quantity for actual output? It will be calculated as 5 multiplied by 5120. So this will come to 25,600. What is the standard price that is given to you? 4.20. So what is my standard cost? My standard cost comes out to 1,07,520. What about the actual quantity, sir? Now, when we talk about the actual quantity, we have the actual quantity purchased, that is 30,000 units. And we have the actual quantity used, that is 25,700 units. Now, which quantity to be used? Right? You have to use here the actual quantity used, that is 25,700. After that, the actual price and the actual cost. Now you may say, sir, actual cost is 1,35,000, but this is the purchase cost. This is not the actual cost for the material consumed. What we need is, we need the actual cost for the material consumed and not for the material purchased. But sir, the actual price is also not given. So how to calculate these two things? Actual price can be calculated. What is the actual price of the material? The price will be the price at which we have purchased the material, that is 1,35,000 divided by 30,000. That comes to 4.5. How this has been calculated? This is calculated as purchase cost 1,35,000 divided by units purchased, that is 30,000. Because the actual price is not dependent upon the quantity consumed, right? The actual price is going to remain the same. It is going to be 4.5 whether you are consuming 30,000 units or whether you are consuming 25,700 units. So actual price is calculated on the basis of the units purchased, right? What is the total purchase cost? What is my purchase units? On that basis, you will calculate the actual price. So this comes to 25,700 multiplied by 4.5. This comes to 1,15,650 actual cost. Actual cost for the material consumed, right? So from here, we can calculate the variances, that is direct material cost variance, that comes out to 1,07,520 standard cost minus actual cost. Okay, we'll write the formula also. Standard cost minus actual cost, right? What is my standard cost? 1,07,520 minus actual cost 1,15,650. So this comes to 8,130 adverse, right? This is my cost variance. Now coming to the direct material price variance, that is standard price minus actual price multiplied by actual quantity. Now here you can take the actual quantity purchased also or the actual quantity used. We will prefer the used also. If you are going to use actual quantity purchased, in that case your direct material cost variance will not be equal to price plus usage variance, right? In the ICI MAT they say use actual quantity purchased, that it should be given the preference, but I say the actual quantity used will be given the preference, because we want to see the difference on the whatever we have consumed and not on whatever we have purchased, right? So it can be both ways. It can be both ways. It can be purchased also, it can be used also. Okay, so standard price is 4.20 minus what is actual price 4.50 multiplied by actual quantity used, that is 25,700. Right, so this comes out to 7,710 adverse. Clear? The next we have is direct material quantity variance or the usage variance, that is standard quantity minus actual quantity multiplied by standard price. So standard quantity is 25,620. 25,600, and what is the actual quantity used? 25,700 multiplied by 4.20, so this comes out to 420 adverse, right? So this will be equal to the cost variance. 8130 adverse, right? So direct material cost variance is equal to direct material price variance plus direct material quantity variance, right? So this is 8130 adverse. What is price variance? 7710 adverse plus the quantity variance 420 adverse, right? So this total is 8130 adverse. Clear? If you are going to use in the price variance, if you are going to use the actual quantity purchased, in that case it will vary, right? In that case your answer will vary. So this was about the material variances. Now coming to the labor variances. So in this one question we are covering both the variances. Now the second we have labor variances. The same way we are going to prepare the table, that is standard hours for actual output, then standard rate, standard cost, actual hours, actual rate and actual cost, right? Now what is my actual output? My actual output is 5120 units. Now the question says that for 1 unit 3 hours are required. So that means for 5120 units how many hours will be required? So for this will be 3 multiplied by 5120, 5120 multiplied by 3, that will be 15,360. What is standard rate? 3 rupees. It is given in the question. Then standard cost is 46,080. Actual hours. Actual hours are given. Actual hours are given to you 15,150. 15,150. Actual cost is given to you, that is 48,480. So the actual rate will be 48,480 divided by 15,150. So that comes to 3.2. Right? This is 48,480 divided by 15,150. Right? So this is how the actual rate has been calculated. Now we will calculate the variances. That is direct labor cost variance is equal to standard cost minus actual cost. Right? So my standard cost here is 46,080 minus the actual cost, that is 48,480. That comes to 2,400 adverse. Right? After that, direct labor rate variance. Second is direct labor rate variance, that is standard rate minus actual rate multiplied by actual hours. So what is my standard rate? My standard rate is 3 minus actual rate is 3.2 multiplied by actual hours, that is 15,150. So this comes out to 3030 adverse. After that we have direct labor efficiency variance. Efficiency is dependent upon the hours, so standard hours for actual output minus actual hours multiplied by standard rate. What is standard hours for actual output? Standard hours for actual output is given as 15,360 minus actual hours 15,150. So it is a benefit multiplied by standard rate 3. So it is 630 favorable. So direct labor cost variance will be equal to rate variance plus efficiency variance. Direct labor cost variance is equal to direct labor rate variance plus direct labor efficiency variance, right? So cost variance is 2400 adverse. This is 3030 adverse plus this is 630 favorable, right? So the net effect is 2400 adverse. Clear? So this is how the material and the cost variances will be calculated. Now this kind of a question can be asked in the examination. There is no doubt about it, right? It is not necessary that every time you will be asked to you will get a question where you will need to calculate the yield and the mix variance. It is not necessary. These kind of questions can definitely be asked in the examination, that this data is given, then you are asked to calculate the appropriate material and labor variances, right? But in this case, I think this question will come for 5 marks. If it comes in the examination, this kind of a question will come for 5 marks and not for the 10 marks. Okay. 5 marks, 6 marks or 8 marks at most. 6 marks can be there, right? Because 3 for material and 3 for labor, 6 marks question definitely can be there. Right? So we are done with this question number 4. Now we have to do one more question where we'll be calculating the labor mix and the yield variance, and we will have the idle time, and that question has been picked. I picked that question from your ICI mat only. ICI study mat. I'm picking up this question. Illustration number 7 is there in your books. Let's see. NPX Limited uses the standard costing system for manufacturing its product. The following is the budget data given in relation to labor hours for the manufacture of 1 unit of the product X, right? So to manufacture 1 unit of the product, this is the data given to you, that 3 types of labor: skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled. Standard hours are given for the manufacturing of 1 unit, that is 2, 3 and 5. The standard rate is given 6, 4 and 3. In the month of January, total 10,000 units were manufactured. Now this 10,000 becomes your actual output. So this is your actual output. Following are the details: skilled, semi-skilled, unskilled. Total actual hours 18,000, 33,000 and 58,000. Now these hours are for the 10,000 units, right? So in the manufacturing of 10,000 units, what is the actual hours that have been used of the skilled labor, of the semi-skilled labor and the unskilled labor? Actual rate is given to you and the actual amounts are also calculated. So basically the calculation part has been made easy by providing you with the actual data. Actual idle hours, abnormal during the month, are skilled 500, 700 and unskilled. Now listen to it very carefully. This 18,000, 33,000 and 15,000, these are the actual hours paid for. Actual hours paid for. That is why we have multiplied the rate with these hours and calculated the total cost. This is what we are paying for, right? But the actual number of hours for which they have worked is 18,000 minus 500, right? So 17,500 will be the actual hours that have been worked, right? Clear? So 33,000 minus 700, that will give you 32,300. 58,000 minus 800 will give you 57,200. These are the actual hours worked. This is actual hours worked. What is given? Given is paid for. What you have paid? The cost. Cost is dependent upon what you are paying, right? So this 1,26,115, 2,32,000 is the total cost for what we have paid for. Whereas the actual hours worked will be the total hours paid for minus the idle time. So you are required to calculate the labor variances. So they have done it in a very simple way. They have prepared the table as we prepare, right? We do not prepare this column and not required as such, right? Standards for actuals. So 20,000 hours for 1 unit, 2 hours. What is the actual output? Actual output is 10,000 units. For 10,000 units, it is 20,000, right? 2 multiplied by 10,000. This 10,000 is your actual output. Similarly, semi-skilled, for making 1 unit, 3 standard hours for 10,000, that is the actual output 30,000. For unskilled 50,000. Rate is given to you. You will calculate the standard cost for actual output. Actuals are given to you. This is paid for, paid hours, rate, amount, everything given. So in the second table, they are taking the idle hours, that is 500, 700 and 800, and the hours worked 17,500, 32,300 and 57,200. That is the total hours this paid for minus the idle hours. That will give you the number of hours worked for. Here you will make one more column, that is revised standard hours. Now the revised standard hours will be calculated on this part, on the hours worked. That is what I told you at the very beginning of this lecture only. I told you that you will divide 1,07,000 in the standard ratio, right? You will divide 1,07,000 in this ratio. 20,000 is to 30,000 is to 50,000. So this is how you will calculate the revised standard hours. You will make you can make a single table for all this, right? There is the institute here, the space was the constraint because this much was the space. That is why they have prepared a separate table where they have taken the idle hours and the hours worked, right? You have to take the revised standard hours also. So for here, the revised standard hours will be based on that, will be 20,000 divided by 50,000 multiplied by 1,07,000. In this case, this will be 30,000 divided by 50,000 multiplied by 1,07,000, right? So in this case will be 50,000 divided by 1 lakh. Sorry, it should be 1 lakh, right? 1 lakh multiplied by 1,07,000. Right? This is how your revised standard hours will be calculated for skilled, semi-skilled and the unskilled labor part. Now coming to the variances. Now the cost variance. Cost variance is calculated on the basis of the hours paid and not on the basis of hours worked. Right? So cost variance is very simple. 390 minus 473,500. Simple. Right? 83,500. Even if you don't want to show it separately, you can take the total cost. That is 3,90,000 minus 4,73,500. 83,500 adverse. After that, rate variance again for the hours paid. Right? So very simple. Rate variance is standard rate, that is 6 minus actual rate 7 multiplied by the actual hours paid for, that is 18,000. Right? Paid. 18,000, 33 and 58,000. You will calculate for individual elements of the labor. Then the total you will do it, right? Adverse, favorable, adverse. You have to take the net effect, that is 58,000 plus 18,000 minus 16,500. This will be 58,000 plus 18,000 minus 16,500, right? So net will be 59,500 adverse. Now efficiency variance. The efficiency will be calculated on the basis of actual hours. Now this actual hours will be worked for. Clear? So standard hours 20,000, actual hours worked 17,500 multiplied by standard rate. So the net effect of this will be 15,800 adverse. After that, idle time variance. Idle hours multiplied by standard rate. Idle hours are given to you multiplied by standard rate. That will be 8,200 adverse. No issues. Mix variance. Mix variance is revised standard hours minus the actual hours worked, because this is related to what? Efficiency. Efficiency is being dependent upon the actual hours worked for, right? Multiplied by standard rate. Clear? Revised standard hours, as I told you how to calculate, 20,000 by 1 lakh multiplied by 1,07,000. This is what I told you. 20,000 divided by 1 lakh multiplied by 1,07,000. Right? It is to be calculated on the basis of hours worked minus the hours worked 17,500 multiplied by standard rate, that is 6. Right? So the net effect of this will be 11,500 favorable. After that, yield variance. In the yield variance, there is no role of actual hours. Right? So simply standard hours minus revised standard hours multiplied by standard rate. Clear? The net effect of will be 27,300 adverse. So this was the first part where you were required to calculate all the labor variances. Now there is a second part also. The second part says also show the effect of labor rate variance, right? Effect on labor rate variance only if 5,000 hours of the skilled labor are paid at 5.5 per hour and the balance was paid at 7 per hour. Now they say out of this actual hours, out of this actual 18,000 hours, right? The payment is being done for 18,000 hours. Out of this 18,000 hours, 5,000 hours of the skilled labor are being paid at 5.5 and the remaining are being paid at 7 per hour. So now you need to calculate the labor rate variance, right? So about the skilled labor, what is the standard rate? 6. For 5,000 units, the actual rate is 5.5. So 6 minus 5.5 multiplied by 5,000 units, right? And the second part we say is 6 minus 7 for 13,000 units, it is 7 rupees. So the total of this will be 10,500 adverse. Semi-skilled and unskilled will remain the same. Total 52,000 adverse. This is the rate variance as per asked in the second part. Clear? So this is an important question. That's why I picked up, and it covers all the element. It is covering the idle time also. It is covering the hours paid for also. It is covering the hours worked. All the labor variances have been calculated in this part. The idle time variance has been calculated in this part, and the second part was actually good. So mark it as an important question from the ICAI study mat also. The rest of the questions of the ICAI study mat we are covering in our ICAI SM series, which is available on our mobile app, right? So we are covering there. All the questions in detail we are covering on the ICAI SM series also. Nothing to worry about that. Clear? Okay, so we are done with the labor variances in this case. We are done with the labor variances. Nothing else to be covered in the labor variance now, right? I hope all of you have understood properly that what are the labor variances, whatever the questions we have done. And do one thing, make it a habit. I have been again and again saying this, make it a habit to revise side by side, right? Because that what will happen is that will save your revision time at the end. So keep your revisions side by side. Whatever you are studying today, if you are covering 2 to 3 lectures in one day, right? Because these are recorded lectures available on YouTube. If you are covering 2 to 3 lectures in one day, make a point that next day you have to spend 10 to 15 minutes in revising those 2 to 3 lectures, what was covered in 2 to 3 lectures, because you will never forget that. If you make it a habit, you will never forget whatever you studied. It will definitely have a long-lasting imprint on your mind, right? So in the next lecture, we are going to start with the next variance, that is the variable overhead variance. That is very, very easy, very easy. Variable overhead variance, and most probably we will complete it in one lecture only. Variable overhead variance, it will be completed in one single lecture only, right? We'll complete it in the next lecture. So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep sharing, keep studying. Thank you so much.